Hello everyone, this is Commander Trium back with another episode of Elite Dangerous. We are continuing an earlier segment from today. Just one moment, we have to do some configuration that was left undone. We're good, hopefully. I think. Yes, we are. We're doing a final haul to the Alban Gale system. So we're not looking at a long session here. Delivering a little under 500 in federal aid to the target system. From our current location in Scaredy. And then we'll be considering a deployment either to the Pleiades or to an asteroid field to reclaim cash spent on this effort. Okay, we got our course laid in. Does not appear so. Alban Gate. This time we do have a map we can refer to. take a look at the map in one more context. It is a 3-jump endeavor from this system using this ship with this cargo. Let's have a look here. There's the bubble, and there's Felicia Winter's territory highlighted within. Her territory is once again growing in size. Don't know what it's like in terms of volume yet, but holy, parental is doing very well. Much better than I remember him doing. Aisling is also making big gains. So is, of course, Ursula Vigny-Duval. The person who seems to be suffering a bit at the hands of Hudson, if there is anyone, would be our friends from the Alliance, who used to be much larger than this, but they have declined in size. Still quite large, but not as large as I remember them being at one point. They took over a good chunk. They have not taken Saul, but they've gotten pretty darn close to it. Pollux. There's Saul. Almost looks as if Grom might have taken it. It is not showing up as a world belonging to Zachary Hudson, which is alarming. Well, at any rate, we have our course set. Auto launch engaged. Oh, yes. I doubt that very much. Because I'm about to dump 500 in federal liberal aid on top of you, and that is going to piss you off. Inevitably. There are no other FLC units here, which is a little bit unexpected, but beautiful shot of this gas giant. Well then, in that case, let's use them. Filing paperwork. $489 aid to gate total 92952. $15,330. I'm
America, fuck yeah.
Water flowing home, and we call our home.
I am on a delayed stream. If anyone has an issue with that, please speak now or forever hold your peace.
Huh?
You're on delayed stream.
Yes.
On Twitch?
No, YouTube.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think that really affects us at all.
No, I don't think so. Never.
Yeah, it won't affect us. We're not watching the stream.
No. Well, you can't. It's on delay.
Where are you? Which place are you going?
I'm doing runs between Albin Gale and...
I mean, if you were the person streaming and you were recording us, then I may have a problem with it.
What do you mean?
Are you going to Yelvis's port?
I am the person streaming. It's on delay. I can't control a delay unless I'm the person streaming.
Okay, so you are streaming.
On a delay, yes.
Okay, well, what is
Definitely.
the
Where
delay?
are you going?
I'm going to the place that...
Yelvis's port?
Do you know what delay means? It
Hey,
means,
dog, that's my
I know what
jam.
delay means.
that means not now.
It's not real time.
Right. It will be published in a day or so.
Oh, I
Alright,
thought you like live stream delay, like on Twitch, where like it delays the stream a couple seconds.
No, I mean,
Okay, that's where I got confused. I get it now. So it's not like being
obviously, if it was a second or later, to say it's a delayed stream is an outright lie, in my opinion.
Why am I not slowing down?
Okay, well I get you now.
Okay.
I get you.
Good. Nothing
Imagine
heard?
having a 10-minute delay.
That's why I'm dumb.
Okay, so okay, Curtis, would you like to take this to one of the wing channels? What do you want
Yes.
to take it? Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Wing 1, I guess?
Sure. Okay, are you there? Moki.
No.
Okay, let's go to wing 1. Moki,
Nope.
let's go to wing 1.
Nope.
Kabook.
Doo-doo.
Babook.
See you later.
Babook.
See you later, my dude.
Hey, the
Bro,
horse.
that song's my jam. We all together, bro.
Book.
I'll make that my.
Book. Book. Holy crap, there's still a lot of people here.
There's about 350 of us.
350. Yeah. It's about right.
Cause, Rui.
Yeah.
So,
350.
What? What's up?
What?
no, nothing.
We doing another secret attack?
No,
What?
we're talking about South Park and 350 and the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes. I think I just pumped a pimple in my ear. That's cool.
That's great. I love that.
Sorry.
I don't have pimples anymore.
It's
I heard the pop. Anyway.
the big.
Cat, I swear to God, I'm gonna have to kill you.
Oh.
She climbs up on the coffee table and starts like knocking everything.
Assert her
over.
dominance. You best believe. And you let her too. She's a beta.
Yeah, until I stick her in her kennel, and then she doesn't like that very much.
You're the alpha.
Well, then she wonders why she's in the kennel, and it's like, well, because
Really?
you're being an idiot, bad kitty. All right, we are going to fly back to
You're
our
treating
base.
your cat like a kitten.
Where are you flying back to?
My base,
Secret base. What kind of base are we talking about here?
Scardy.
Oh man.
Oh, you live on the first planet?
I don't know which. I can't remember actually.
Have you ever been to the first planet of Scardy?
Yes, I'm sure I have. Well, maybe not the planet itself, but I've been like in the Scardy system, so I probably passed it or something.
The first planet of Scardy is like 5. It's the closest planet to its host star. It's like 5 light seconds away, and so it's just a fucking hellscape.
Oh, really? That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's like a tourist place, pretty much.
Oh, well, let's have a look here. Scardy 1. What do we got? We have silicate vapor geysers, volcanism, no atmosphere, 40% rock, 60% metal. It has 0.7% polonium, that's interesting. And manganese, phosphorus, zinc, vanadium, cadmium, and tungsten, which is a rare one sometimes. No arsenic though, so no interest to me. Except for the polonium. I might go there for some polonium later. And you said it's a hellscape. That's very exciting. Have you been to Beetlejuice?
I just went there today, actually, for the first time.
Yeah, Beetlejuice 1's a really nice hellscape.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what Scardy's like.
That's
except Scardy will melt your fucking ship if you don't bring heat sinks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The way the shadows were cast where I landed on Beetlejuice 1, it was like, I don't know, it felt like the seventh ring of hell. I swear to God, like Satan was like at his castle there or something.
Yo, does he have plumbing?
I don't think Satan has plum trees.
Oh dang, not much rented.
Jesus.
Because I can afford about 230. Sorry.
Oh my God, the planet's actually 13% sulfur. Most of which is accreted on the surface.
No, that makes sense if it's sulfur, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a hellscape. Anything with
Yeah.
13% sulfur.
Sulfur.
Well, and it's also 26% brimstone. That's exciting. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. But
Bunny was I haven't played the Binding of Isaac in a while. I did.
I did in Minecraft.
Hey, listen, I have a 3,000 hours in Minecraft.
I was the bunny in Minecraft.
Huh?
You can buy the bunny skin in Minecraft and be the bunny and hop around.
Oh, that's neat. I need that.
It's like Hexic. I don't know if you remember an ancient game named Hexic. You could turn your opponents. It was like a first-person shooter. You could run around and you could change other people into chickens with your magic wand. As a chicken, you can't do very much. You can run around on the ground, hope not to be killed instantly by some roaming monster, and you can peck. That's your primary attack is peck. Peck! Peck.
Seems legit.
Yeah. And you could cluck.
I'm almost to my final rank of freaking Federation. You don't believe time. Oh. Stupid rare artwork salvage operation. That is a scam. Don't ever. Exactly. He gets.
And you can lay an egg. You can lay an egg. Oh! It's an egg.
Leg so hot, hot leg. Leg so hot, fry an egg.
Yeah, I suppose on this planet I'm staring at right now, it would probably fry. And the chicken has laid an egg. It is fried. What happened to everyone?
Oh no, man.
People have all disappeared.
Can't disappear if you never appeared. Got him.
Well, I'm gonna wear my cloaking device. Okay, so we have that. And then we're gonna go to the Pleiades. in our big tough new ship. Tough, tough, tough. And then our ship will lay an egg.
Sweet. So if you just have an apple, you can't tell you to be.
It will lay an egg. Did someone park a beluga in the mail slot again?
Like a regular occurrence.
That's what people do now, is they take their beluga and wedge it into the mail slot, and so that no one can get in or out until the station cannons blow it to smithereens. And then there's debris stuck in the mail slot, which is always fun. I get so mad I laid an egg. No, we have to lay in a quartz first. Ooh, tomorrow the half cycle is done, and we can actually get our money for participating in, and the Federation won the contest, so they get to build the station out of the Witchhead Nebula.
I don't know if I've been pledged.
What's that? I pledged. I'm with Felicia Winters.
So then I don't need the advanced positive auxiliaries anymore. Should I get them anyway?
What, for the community goal?
No. The plasma auxiliaries.
What about them?
The landing power. Should I still get them?
The advanced ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, get like 4 of them and store them in your storage.
No, but I mean, I was just been told to use efficient, regular accelerated.
I mean, yeah, but you can still find a use for advanced ones eventually.
Yeah, I suppose.
Doesn't hurt to have them on hand, because once this week is over, you won't be able to buy them anymore. So just stock up on like 4 or 6.
I haven't been pledged for 4 weeks yet.
Okay.
Why can't you buy them after this week?
Because basically, well, I mean, you can, but like you have to farm merits every week that you want to buy them. Because every week your merits are halved. So.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Follow
Yeah.
what you're saying. Just why I don't like going up too high in level, because you waste all that effort, and it's like burns through all of your merits that you.
I couldn't imagine getting 10,000 merits.
Yeah, and then you lose 5,000 of them. Bang! Sorry. Thanks for playing. No, I'm happy. I don't even know how many merits I have now. That's a good question. Let's find out. I will have galactic power. Unlimited power! And I have 1,202 merits. 720 of which are going to get burned up by the rating thing. Sorry, 750 are being burned up by the merit thing. I'm supposed to get more votes soon as well. I've been part of this faction for long enough. then I can fix elections. Once I have 50,000 votes, I'll spend them all. Vote myself in as the new shadow president. I vote for me. Did we lay in our course? Yes, we did. And now, auto launch. Engaging.
Someone took a screenshot.
I did. I'm a screenshot. Can't help.
So Discord censored you for me.
Huh?
Yeah. So Discord censored you. Your mic cut out when you said the W word.
Ah.
Thought.
Yeah.
I hate e-thoughts. I can't stand them. I don't know why. Aggravates.
Because
Well, man, when it comes to screenshots, I can't help. This game's too beautiful not to take screenshots every.
Oh, I don't care about your screenshots. I just care about. I'm all for you. You know, man. Just take it me. You want e-thoughts, man? Stay away from. E-thoughts are not the way. Oh, pretty good landing.
It's time for me to go to sleep. I lost over 200 million credits worth of cargo.
How?
Fucking Type 9s aren't all that maneuverable, man.
That is very true.
They be slow.
And mine is not outfitted for combat whatsoever. It's only outfitted for mining.
I don't think that you can fit it out for combat if I had.
Yeah, well, people usually put auto turrets and shit like that on it, so. And it helps, but, you know, fucking. It was absolute shit, man. Fucking. I'm leaving to go sell my shit so I can fucking go to sleep. Make about 200 million. And as soon as I leave, I get interdicted. And I'm like, oh shit, and the way it interdicted me, it put me back into the place where I came from, except just deeper into it. And I figured to myself, well shit, I might as well try to lose them in the asteroid field. And yeah, it didn't play. Fucking they ended up finding me after I ran silent running a couple times. And they're like, hey, drop 1 million credits worth of your cargo. I'm in the process of doing that. And they shoot at me. And they won't, and I drop my cargo and they're still fucking shooting at me, so I'm like, well, fuck. So I tried to get out of there, and I did get out of there with 8% hull left and over 300% heat. So needless to say, the heat killed me.
that's because they're usually pirates or liars, and they say they're going to stop shooting at you when you dump your cargo, but they just get you to dump your cargo. And then shoot you anyway.
But there were NPC pirates. Some bullshit.
Speaking of which, I'm being interdicted right now.
Yeah, so I lost about 200 million credits worth of go. Pretty pissed about it.
It is a federal gunship. And we're under attack. Computer launch fighter. Federal. It's a Lance class. Go. Okay. Shit! Yeah, I'm in deep trouble here.
Well, I'm going to sleep. I'll see you all tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yep.
So are his. Shields are offline. Fucking pirates. I have been victorious. Enemy pirate has fled. My, of all things, pack hound missiles nearly took his shield down, or nearly took his hull down. At which point he bailed out of combat. Shields are almost reassembled. We have 15% hull damage registered. Checking our systems for further damage. Our power distributor took 7%. Power plant took 13%. Our canopy took just over 10%. I think it's 12, no, 14. Oh, that's weird. Attracting weapons array, increasing speed and engaging. 9 light seconds from base. Hello. We have our docking request. And switching to auto dock. Okay. So that was a
Interesting place.
yeah. It's the hub of activity.
What?
Here. This
I don't
channel.
know. I was saying I found an interesting place.
Where is that?
And it makes Dav's Hope look like a Dollar Tree compared to what I'm getting. And it's right outside station. And the even better part, it's an anarchy system. And the station helps you kill the motherfuckers that you just... Doesn't matter who it is. You shoot at somebody outside the station don't shoot you. It shoots the target you're shooting at. So I've just been laying waste to all these NPCs outside of the station, and I'm just letting them collect all these materials. Like, I filled up all my meters in less than like 30 minutes.
So you started shooting at NPCs and the station took your side.
The station will take my side because every one of these NPCs that come here decide to drop fucking... So as soon as they start dropping mines, the NPCs, the station lights them. Literally, dude, I just killed like 12 ships within like 30 seconds right outside the undock, and I have just a cloud. And I'm still sitting here. 6 controller limits going.
And where's this planet?
It's on a planet.
Oh, sorry, where's the station? Which star system? Or is that a secret?
It is Vesper-M4. That's Sloth Orbit.
Vesper, the Vesper system?
Vesper-M4. That's Sloth Orbit. And literally, you just don't shoot the station. A fucking turret totally hit the station, costed me a revive. But as long as you don't shoot the fucking station, totally fine.
Well,
But yeah, I've been
let's have a look
farming
here.
all the G1 through G4 materials, and there's a material trader right, so I'll be able to farm here, get all my meters full. Took me 30 minutes, go over there, trade them, reset, keep doing that process over and over for a couple hours, and then all my G5s will be maxed out.
Vesper-M4.
Yeah, please don't spread that around.
I was
I
gonna
don't know
tell.
how
It's,
popular this is.
I see. It's well outside the
Oh.
bubble. It's 112 light years from my current location. No, it's not outside the bubble. What am I talking about? It's in the bubble, near Gamma Corona Austrinae. And it's also near the Pilots Federation Zone, which is interesting. Very interesting. It is an anarchy system, population 200,000. Industrial military economy, also known as Gliza 755. Deparcos 95149 and HD 181321. So this is a real star in the real galaxy as well, just as an added bonus.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, it's got a shitload of NPC trap, especially a ton of orcas and belugas, and literally they just constantly jump in and I just keep killing them constantly over and over and over and over.
Yeah, I don't think that's what you'd find if you actually travel to this star system in the real galaxy, in a real spaceship.
No, probably not.
But, fortunately, it is a class G2 star, so yellow solar star. It's in region 18 along the entire bubble virtually. see, what else do we know about it? I don't know how many planets it has, and I can't buy that information from here. Hypothetically, if I want
Hey,
to travel here, I
hold
will-
on.
You.
You seem familiar. I don't know.
Yeah, you've probably met me before.
Were you the dude that was the join or die?
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
There are 2 neutron stars between myself and this place you're at, starting at Lod 27, so I could be there in 3 jumps. That's 3 jumps away.
You need to bring a combat ship.
Oh, I'd bring the Corvette.
Yeah, your Corvette would be fine. Like I said, don't shoot the fuck station or it's gonna murder your Corvette.
No, the Corvette's on target designated targets only.
So what am mine? And I still hit the station.
Well, because you have gimbal weapons probably that did accidentally hit the station. But you just go to the outer ring of where the station has, well, actually you go to your weapon's maximum fire range and target all the ships that are close by to you. That way you stand a less chance of hitting the station.
Any of you guys trackies?
Yep. Did you see the...
New.
Yeah, I saw the new Picard things. The big surprise, I just about fell off my chair when 7 of 9 appeared.
I did too. That's not one actor that I ever expected to. I mean, that's one character I never expected to see a continuation of.
Now get this. That's, I think her rank in this new series is Commander.
Section that.
So she's Commander 7. Guess
There's a lot of them that are saying that she's probably like Section 31 or some shit like that.
probably, but guess who her offspring might be. She may have had a child with Chakotay.
Chakotay.
Named Gary. Where have we heard the name Gary 7 before? The old series, Star Trek, the old series, Gary 7.
Huh.
Remember him?
Yeah, well, I heard Hugh the Borg is coming back too.
Possibly, but Gary 7 is from the old series. He appeared with Kirk and Spock on a mission involving time travel from the year 2850 in the Federation timeline. So, that could be interesting too, if Gary 7 suddenly appears as well as part of the crew or something. That would be the second appearance of Gary 7 in Star Trek in 35 years. No, more than 35 years.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if Chakotay's coming along for the ride or if he'll put in a cameo or something, but maybe.
I'm sure once the series starts rolling off, I'm sure we'll see a lot of old faces from Deep Space Nine, Voyager, TNG.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll all crop up. I mean, CBS has a lot of saving to do. They got to fix that prime timeline.
Yeah. Well, Romulus is still gone, so new Romulus.
Well, that was going to happen in the prime time anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm alright with Romulus being destroyed. And then it's kind of sad, though. I mean, they
But-
never really went into full depth.
But
with
the
the Romulans.
Yeah, but Vulcan's back. So Vulcan was never destroyed. But
Yeah, they said it was in prime time. They said it wasn't in that alternate Kelvin timeline.
the Kelvin timeline, yeah. So Vulcan's back. So no more new Vulcan, but new Romulus is been established and has been around for 20 years at this point. So it's still a fairly new colony, but the Romulans still have a fleet. They've designed a new warbird based partly on Borg technology.
I know, like, all of it's based around the Borg, which I really fucking...
Yeah, it's going to be heavily Borg influenced. But there is some sort of threat to the Federation before the Sphere Builders put their appearance in the next century. Don't forget, the Sphere Builders are coming in the 27th, so...
Yeah, from Enterprise.
Yeah. But that will still happen, so...
Well, yeah, that was Prime.
That was all Prime timeline, yeah. So that gets released in 2020. We also have Axanar to look forward to before that. So the 4 Years' War will be covered. The first war that involved the first Federation alliance of the four worlds, the founding worlds, Vulcan, Earth, Talar, and Andoria. And that is a period that involves, of course, Garth of Izar.
Garth of Izar, but they won't add him.
Oh yeah, he's putting in an appearance. He commands one of the key ships during
CBS, but they shot his fucking prelude to Axanar or whatever, which is really sad because I really wanted to see that.
Well, you'll find
fucking Discovery.
You'll find that it's actually back on because he reached an agreement with CBS to produce it.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's why the lawsuit.
Oh my god, dude! I'm so glad he did. Like, I felt so bad for the guy because like he was the right person to handle Trek.
There are big limitations on it, but there have been also subsequent side agreements, so it's not clear exactly how this is going to get presented. It could be 2 15-minute segments or 1 half-hour segment. And then he has to go back to them for more permissions if he wants to continue production. And then but the guy who's making the whole Axanar thing happen is going and saying, well, he wants to do something other than Star Trek, possibly. So he's looking at, and I did speak with him directly, and the team is giving some consideration to approaching Frontier to do an elite storyline. So
I mean, I'm fine with them doing Star Trek, but I don't know what else they would want to do. They need to just stick with.
I know. I think Elite could benefit from a professional video crew. That would put them on direct competition line with Squadron 42 from Star Citizen.
I don't know, man. Squadron 42 is supposed to debut sometime next year.
Well, the movie will. I think the movie's on track, but I think the software itself, I don't know.
Yeah, no. The Chris Rob, you're talking to a concierge subscriber for Star Citizen, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've put in almost $2,000 something into fucking SC.
His only success, really, was Wing Commander. And the software side of it was successful, but it was limited. And
You're talking about Elite, yeah?
No, I'm talking about Wing Commander.
Or you're talking about
Chris Roberts' successful projects, like.
Yeah. Well, he had Freelancer too. Freelancer, I really love.
Well, the thing is, he tends to interfere in the implementation in everything. And he would really benefit from just taking a giant step back and letting project managers and software developers do their fucking job.
Hey, that's what they've been. Trust me, you should watch their community.
No, I know. He's been told this, and it's not a surprise. In fact, Forbes magazine eviscerated him on the subject. So
I don't give a fuck about Forbes, bro. Forbes is a joke.
They quoted, "Hey, there's still a news source, and they still follow journalistic practice. They're well established, and they interviewed a number of developers who are still on the team. So that
I know about the Forbes article, but it was just all laughed at, honestly, terribly. Like,
well, that may have been laughed at by gamers, but I mean, I can tell you the business community didn't laugh at it, and neither do I, because I think that there's a lot of merit in it based on
I look at it this way.
based on the fact that I'm a software developer and I know exactly the kind of person that will interfere in the design process of software and the impact it has.
When it comes to Star Citizen, I find a lot of people that shit on it don't actually have.
I'm not shitting on Star Citizen. I'm shitting on Chris Roberts.
I ain't talking about. I'm just talking about in general. People talking shit. Like they don't play. They don't know. Like 3.6 just launched yesterday, and it's just God, that game.
Well, no, it's
all
made
the space MMOs, man.
it has made a contribution, no question. It has definitely made huge advances in game design, and will have made, and regardless of what happens now, will have made its contribution to the gaming universe. But that said, the overall ambitions of the project, especially in the absence of newer technologies like VR and whatnot, I think are probably going to hamstring it to some degree.
Wow.
And it still remains
on node technology.
Node technology.
Yeah, so basically Amazon has this huge server network.
It's called a cloud.
In the world right now.
I'm well aware I'm a cloud developer.
Well, it's the way it works. It's going to be, everybody's going to be on the same server, everybody's going to be in the same instance, but when fights and stupid shit starts popping off, it's going to slowly start adding other nodes to that specific where they're at in game. So their instance, that around them,
I know,
will have more server power.
That isn't new. That's scalability.
It's scalability, but it's the way. You should just watch the video on it. They go about it saying,
"Dude, I write this, dude." I write systems monitoring software for frickin' Microsoft, the largest, most successful company in the world. I know something about the subject. I'm not fucking around with you. I'm not kidding with you. I've done an analysis of Amazon systems. I know what it has, and I know exactly how it all works. But it's still got limitations on it, and the biggest one actually isn't technical. The biggest one that Star Citizen is facing, he'll take it full advantage of it, yes. But all he's doing is quoting features that exist on virtually every cloud platform that currently exists, including both Google and Microsoft. Both of them have the same capabilities.
There's no games that really put it to its full potential.
Granted, Microsoft's cloud is extremely expensive, and it's aimed at business customers more than it is gamers. Amazon is going for a different market segment because it can't compete at that same level for business customers. It hasn't got the legacy of relationships. It doesn't have the clientele that Microsoft does, or the input that Microsoft does, and the clout Microsoft does.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't. It just doesn't. Not in the business community. I'm telling you point blank. This is a fact. It's not. I'm not exaggerating it at all. But Amazon, again, is one of the big players, and I think their system is better than Google's. So they're probably number 2 in the market overall. And it's the one Frontier uses, by the way. It's the one that, and it'll be the one that Star Citizen uses. In fact, Star Citizen may have selected Amazon based on Frontier's success with it. Don't forget, Frontier expands its galaxy in a very scalable fashion, uses scalability automation similar to what Star Citizen is talking about in a very similar fashion. People don't get star systems initialized until they enter them.
Yeah, fucking bro, Microsoft. Like, I'm looking. Fucking Amazon blew Microsoft out of the fucking hardcore. They're not even listed on the fucking Fortune 500.
What do you
Amazon's
mean?
number 5.
What are you talking about?
Walmart's number 1, Exxon's number 2, Apple's number 3.
What are you talking about?
The Fortune 500, the top 10, they're not even in the top 10.
Microsoft isn't in the top 10 what?
Microsoft is not in the top.
Hello?
Amazon's at number 5.
You cut out completely. Microsoft's not in the top 10 what?
It's not in the top 10 Fortune 500. Their rankings in the Fortune 500. Walmart's number 1, ExxonMobil's number 2, Apple's number 3, Berkshire Hathaway is number 4.
That's fine. That's based entirely off earnings. That has nothing to do with industry vertical. Industry verticals like software, hardware, technology, we'll find Microsoft's on those lists, and it's at the very top. It's number 1 in software. There isn't a second. No one approaches Microsoft's size for software organization. No one. Not on this planet.
I don't know. Microsoft kind of had its day a long time ago, bro.
Go ahead, do your research. You'll find Microsoft is the largest, most successful software company on this
I
planet.
know it is from its heyday, but
No, not from its heyday, today.
I guess it's just not its reigning king like it used to be, bro.
When was it ranked in the top in the top of all industries back in the 80s? I mean, it's 30.
Yeah,
You're
I
talking
mean, I know
about 30.
that
You're
from
talking
its
about 30
heyday.
years ago. It's probably before you were even born.
But nowadays, Microsoft is kind of laughed.
It's laughed at by who? By people who don't know any better.
I get it.
Laughed at by the ignorant and the stupid. No one else. Microsoft is a very serious player in software, but they also focus on their business. There was a time when companies used to diversify and diversify and diversify at the wazoo. That's what Walmart does. That's what Exxon Mobil does. But Microsoft is focused exclusively on software and some hardware. In fact, some of their peripheral engagements would include, for example, Microsoft Games. It's a peripheral entity that Microsoft very seldom profits from.
Trust me, I know. I mean, my hating on Microsoft is just they're not the.
But
I don't know. They're just not leading the way like they used to back in the day.
I think they are. I think they're doing just fine.
I don't know.
I don't know of a better series of development tools than those that are architected around Visual Studio, which is a Microsoft product. I don't know of any operating system that has more market penetration, more than Windows, or stands to gain it.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely every home PC, business PC,
Every
everything
business
that's
server,
PC
yeah.
has got to have Windows on it. Yes, I'm using Windows myself. There's a lot of things in Windows that I do not fucking agree that they need to fucking change. Like, not cool, Microsoft, not cool. I'll tell you the biggest one that fucking annoys the shit out of me.
Can't please everyone. In fact, I get frustrated too, but it still doesn't change the fact that it is the de facto dominant operating system. And there's also don't forget, it's on servers and it's on every bit of infrastructure out there. Not to mention the fact that the second crown jewel is Office, which still makes billions of dollars every year for the company.
Crazy, especially when there's that free version that's the exact same thing online.
It's nowhere near exactly the same. I mean, many of the features are there, but Google is
Features are all there.
all
I
of them.
use it.
Really?
Things, like you can even save in Office format.
Kind of, yeah. Not when it comes down. Not completely supported Office formats. Not for plugins, ActiveX,
It
Cons.
saves it quite nice, and they stay updated 100%. I mean,
For 90% of the applications, yes, it does. But if you're in one of the 10%, or if you fall through the cracks somehow in some fashion.
If you're in the 10% any software bracket, then I think you kind of.
No, I mean that's not true. I mean look at a product like Project. You're telling me Google has Project? Really? Where? And yet Microsoft Project is part of Office. So
I don't like talking about Google.
because you're
They
wrong.
piss me off.
You're mistaken.
About what?
You said Google has everything Office does. It doesn't.
I didn't say Google. I said the free program. It's not.
Okay, what
Google,
project?
but-
Okay, give me an example of a version that competes with Project that is free. Anything. Name one
I don't
product.
even know what the hell Project is. Talk about Microsoft.
So you don't
Office.
even know exactly what Office is, and you're already telling me, and you're already crapping on
I'm
it.
talking about Microsoft Office, bruh.
Right,
Like,
I know.
listen to the conversation. Nice, simple. Don't know why you're having a hard time hearing. Microsoft Office, the free tools.
I'm
there's free
hearing
tools
you
on-
just
there's a free
fine.
tool
It's you who
online.
doesn't understand what Project is and doesn't know it's part of Office. Believe me, I've worked for Microsoft twice in my career already, and now a third time. I know what Office does. I know what software comprises it. project, Microsoft project, is an Office product. So you tell me what is where there's a free example of a piece of software to make your point, where there is a free piece of software it does what project does. Otherwise, it's not true that there are free pieces of software that do everything Office does. It does.
Microsoft project roadmap, new projects are designed to give you a simpler way to visualize and bring your projects together in one place. Yes, there are programs that are other than Project that does exactly what Project
Name
does.
one. For free. Name one.
Probably. Oh, look at this. Here, I'll give you 24.
Okay.
Asana. Poll.
You'll find all of them are operating under the option to try and buy. So in other words, they work for a while, and then you're expected to pay. So that to me isn't freeware.
ZenKit's 100%.
ZenKit?
Yeah.
What's its market penetration level? Never mind. It's a rhetorical question. Anyway, Microsoft is still, yeah, I mean, there are products out there, I'm sure, that probably do it
It's
for
just a
free.
project management fucking software.
But you can't tell me that every feature in Project is matched by these titles.
I don't use project management.
I know you don't. I'm not being exactly fair, but if you're talking about Excel, if you're talking about Word, you're talking about PowerPoint, yes, Google has those bases covered. So do a lot of other products, and yes, definitely Microsoft Office is matched again to the 90th percentile with feature sets on those fronts. But there are still people that do need Project and do use other aspects of Office.
Oh, yeah,
Like what about Microsoft Access? It's a flat file database. Very few other products exist today that do flat file databases. Why? Because database servers are the preference for most organizations and most individuals. So they came out with, but Microsoft does have a free database called SQLite, and you can download that, and you can install it, and you get full access to SQL. So you can have your database for free, and you can run it as much as you want, but there are going to be performance limitations, as there will be with the other products. It's all a matter of sort of perspective in terms of what it is you're looking to do and how to do it. There are lots of right answers to one question in software. Microsoft just does it extremely well and has packaged it together and has approached partnerships with vendors in order to get market dominance, and it's done that very successfully. And that would be the only point I would make. That's why it's the biggest software vendor, and it's not going to get dislodged from that just instantaneously. It hasn't seen its heyday. It's still building on top of the cloud. It's still very much topical and current. You'll find Microsoft will still be around in 50 years, I fully expect.
Oh yeah, I expect them to be around forever until we nuke ourselves, or we burn ourselves up in global warming or something dumb.
There are major players. So no, they're not as big as Exxon. Exxon's into nuclear weapons and oil.
I mean, Exxon's doing
I mean, some of the biggest companies on Earth would include something like General Electric. Okay, they actually do make nuclear weapons for the American government. So, I mean, companies like that just don't go away, not overnight. It would take a major scandal or something to undermine them. That's what kills them. That's what
Vesper's place is the best to go. You get to grind your combat rank and get fucking
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, goddamn, I've just filled up all my meters, and that took like an hour. About an hour.
Has it been? No.
It's been about an hour, hasn't it?
No, it's been about 30 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, well, 30 minutes prior before I joined the channel, and then 30 minutes in here, so it's been about an hour. Fully fill up all my meter.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. Smoke a cigarette after that.
No, I was just like, oh my God, like, did we actually talk for an hour? It was like, No way.
I lose track of time sometime, man. Like, smoke a lot. So
I was kind of like, I thought it was going nuts. Anyway,
fades away.
speaking of cigarettes, I think I'm gonna have
Yep, I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. I was just thinking about something. I would like to know how many organizations there are. You were talking about some of those bigger names. How many organizations are there? Like when you think about corporate trees. Because Microsoft owns itself, basically, right? Like it's at the top of its own little tree. So no one owns it. How many corporations are there like that in the whole world?
I'm sure there's untold companies on companies on companies on companies.
I know, but ExxonMobil owns, like, even Microsoft owns like thousands of smaller little organizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does GE, so does ExxonMobil. You mentioned, who else did you mention? Walmart? They must own like crap loads in retail, I'm betting. I bet you they buy up retail operations all the time. Although
my wife's sister is gonna fucking hate my gut.
Why is that?
So this bitch, alright, let me fill you on some backstory on this. Alright, so this bitch started some motherfucking drama last week.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about like no titty bitty drama. I mean like almost world ending drama. Okay. Between me and my wife.
Okay.
Alright?
That's not a good idea.
Oh, no, okay, so I ended up staying up late, getting really drunk. I got really fucking hammered.
Yeah.
she comes home. She came in at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there talking to her. Kinyari's already in bed. I'm sitting here talking to her and drinking, playing Elite. Literally, dude, this bitch just gets up on my lap and tries to kiss me and shit. And like, I stopped her, like 100% stopped her. I was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then she got all mad. She got all fucking mad, saying that like, me talking to her and being friendly to her, that was obviously signs that I wanted to fuck the living shit out of her apparently. And I was just like, no, it was just, you're my wife's sister. Me being friendly that's what comes with it.
Yeah.
Me being friendly. You are my wife's sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. How old is this woman?
22.
She's kind of, well, she should know better, but she's kind of at the beginning of everything, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, but she's already at the end of her rope. She's 2 kids deep.
oh my
she's
god,
home.
okay.
She
Okay.
has no car, no life, no nothing. She was like addicted to meth there for a little while. Like, her life sucks. Like, I
Okay.
would never want to have her life. Like, fuck her life.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I was drunk. I didn't want to deal with it. I was just like, let it go, whatever. Didn't want to cause no drama. You know what that bitch does the next morning before I even wake up? Told my wife that I came on to her.
That happens, yeah.
Alright, so it started a huge fight. Me and Kinyari.
Yeah.
Like, I told
Did-
Kinyari what happened. Exactly. I was like, this is the fucking truth. Alright?
Yeah.
I said, I'm at the PC. I was like, playing Elite, and she got up in my lap and tried to kiss me, and I was like, no. And
Yeah.
she was like, oh, she said it was the other way around. I was like, so you see my big ass getting up in this little girl's lap. I was like, that's what you're saying. How the fuck does that make any sense?
Yeah, I can relate because my brother, he has not married this girl, but he's been with her for many years, and at the beginning of their relationship, they had broken up for a while, and he finds out she's pregnant. So I take an interest in the kid because he's my nephew. And we didn't know a bunch of things at the time about this, but apparently he has a severe learning disability, severe enough that he's probably never going to be educatable beyond, say, grade 10. He just won't understand beyond that without a great deal of frustration. And not for a while, for years. So it's decided that he would be put in special education programs that would be, aimed at trying to teach him more via apprenticeship than by, book and chalkboard kind of thing, or whiteboard or whatever the hell is used today. And he's in his 20s now. He's had myriad health problems. I don't know why exactly, but it may have something to do with the fact my brother's birth mother, we're both adopted. My brother's birth mother was an alcoholic and passed on fetal alcohol syndrome to my brother. So he also had issues going to school, learning. Although he's not a stupid person, he's probably about average intelligence, but he's not able to interpret information the way you and I can. In his case, he has to be shown, not taught, if you know what I mean. It's just more severe in his offspring. And I think that I didn't understand, and I still don't quite get how you end up with a more serious case of fetal alcohol syndrome in the second generation than you do in the first. Anyway, this woman is, I basically offered to help them, like set up an education fund and whatnot for them. I'm fairly well off. I have money, and so I was going to make those arrangements. And she goes and tells my brother, I don't know why exactly what her motive was, but she tells my brother that I was trying to do something that would have caused me to have access to Dylan's finances, and that I would basically be ripping his son off. And it was an out-and-out lie. She understood that that was not true, but this is what she told my brother. My brother had to make a decision. Does he talk to his estranged elder brother, who wasn't very nice to him when they were kids sometimes, or does he believe his girlfriend? Well, he made a choice. He chose his girlfriend, and he and the mother of his child, by the way, which I can kind of understand from his limited perspective. I mean, it was an easier choice for him to make that decision than it would have been to become part of my life all of a sudden. He had a life with this person. He's not gonna ever have a life with me. We're just two different people.
Yeah, I understand that point of view.
So I've learned to sort of cope with it. What I don't understand is why he's tried lying to our father about it. And father, it feels like he's caught in between two sons that will never agree. I can forgive my brother for some of what he's done, not everything, but some of what he's done. I will never forgive his girlfriend, because I don't understand her motive, and I don't get why she pulled this lie on him, because she caused all kinds of commotion and harm and damage. But if I ever find a way to get even with her without harming anyone else around her, I will take the first chance I can to do it.
Yeah, I don't destroy that bitch.
I mean, the only problem is that she is Dylan's caregiver, and the last thing I want to do is affect Dylan negatively. So if Dylan should have an accident or pass away prematurely, her life is not forfeit, but it's going to become a lot less pleasant somehow. I won't speculate how, but I mean, it'll begin with her son's death, and it will end with my boot on her neck. If I have anything to say about it, I would condemn that.
That whole situation is just a whole bunch of fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Because your dad's stuck in the middle, and he just...
Yep.
I want to say he believes you. Yeah.
I think he does. I think he does believe me.
But he don't know, see.
He doesn't know. He's not going to say anything. He's a very practical person. He's a carpenter. I would have been a third-generation carpenter in this family were I not adopted. I'm just different. So I ended up being a software developer. I'm good at it. He wanted me to become a lawyer, so I was on that track first, and then I realized, lawyers don't make a shitload of money in the first, 10 to 20 years of their careers, and I didn't think I was going to become very distinguished in that role, so I chose software development. Plus, the internet had just happened, so it was a golden opportunity to make a career switch. But yeah, so I don't know. I can relate to what you're going through there a little bit. It's a difficult situation when you put family in the position, and when you put yourself in the position. In the end, your girlfriend will likely end up taking your side, or if she hasn't already.
Oh no, yeah. Trust me, my wife was fully on my side. Like at first, she was pissed just because she was worried. She was really.
Yeah. That
it's something like that was going to happen, and I kept telling her no.
But she must know her. She must know her sister too.
Yeah, she does. Oh, she got her kicked out.
Okay.
So I mean, she's living at the homeless shelter, and we're still begrudgingly watching her kid because.
Well, it's not her kid's fault, right? Her kid is like.
Bro. When I say fuck them all, I don't care.
Yeah, but
I've let this kid sleep all day, bro.
That's just the role of it. Yeah, I think you're just acting like any ordinary parent would.
I mean, I have kids of my own.
Yeah. Oh, do you? Oh, good.
So taking care of a 12-month-old baby, wasn't really something I really wanted to fucking take care of.
No, of course not.
So, yeah. The kid, but yeah, I try to keep
This
the
is
kid
the
up,
this is the
man.
trouble. This is the trouble with family. It's a card you're dealt in life that you have to deal with it, somehow.
See, my family's completely fucking normal.
So
My brothers don't show up on our doorstep. Like,
No, I know.
Tell you, bro,
Ours-
her entire family is like this, dude. Like, oh my
I can't
God.
say my childhood was especially happy because my arrogance and my argumentative nature has gotten me into far more trouble than. I mean, it used to be an order of magnitude worse when I was younger, and it made it difficult to exist in the small town I was in. So I actually had to move to the city and go to private school, and there I thrived for some reason, whereas I was, failing at the rural school where I was initially placed. And I just could not cope with all the social calamity that was going on inside that shithole of a school. It was a terrible place to grow up as a kid. But and a lot of the people, the other thing I noticed recently is a lot of the people that went to that same school, high school, they're still there in the town. They didn't leave. They didn't do anything. They just kind of kept on going, and I don't know if it's like if that's just small town behavior or if that's like normal. I mean, certain number of people did move away, but and I was among the very first. But yeah, I don't know. It ended up being that I had to go to the city, and all because of dumb shit, but it was a normal family life. There was eventually a divorce, but by then I'd left, so I wasn't even part of that. So, I mean, I lived with my grandparents in the city, and my grandparents were absolutely the kindest, most amazing, wonderful people I could have had to live with. So that worked out really well. Very happy with that. Back when my grandparents passed away, it hit me pretty bloody hard because they were very close. And they were extremely wise. They'd survived the Great Depression, World War I. But just recently, here's the last bit of news from my family. I just found out that on my birth family, my mother has passed away. I found that out 2 years ago. Which prompted me to leave a message on an obituary page set up in her name. Obituary page that's read by people who knew her, some of her friends. In fact, her best friend noted my message where I was claiming to be an estranged son. Well, it turns out my mother had mentioned a son before my half-brother was born. I didn't even know I had a half-brother. But before he was born, there had been another pregnancy, and she'd mentioned it to her best friend. So she's reached out and contacted me and made me aware that I have a surviving grandfather, maternal grandfather, who's 98 years old. He's still apparently, he's solid-witted, doesn't wear a diaper or anything like that. He's in good health, relatively speaking, for a 98-year-old, And so I'm kind of excited about that. And I've decided I want to get in touch with him in a big hurry because before he frankly kicks off, I'd like to I'd like to reach out to him, not miss the opportunity I missed with my mother, my birth mother. On my adopted family side, the other complicating factor is on the adopted mother's side, my mother passed away while I was in university in Winnipeg, in the city. So she had complications due to a surgery and didn't make it. So she suffered a stroke, which is how, ironically, her father went. These things run in.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. My own birth mother died of freak brain cancer. There's no history of cancer in my birth family, so she just ended up with brain cancer somehow, probably environmental She was never very wealthy. May have lived too close to power lines or toxic chemicals or God knows what. And the son, she got married to an abusive husband, which has led to my half brother being very, very. He's a lot like me. He looks something like me, but he's got a temper, like a big temper, and he's been involved. He's had a few run-ins with the law on domestic questions. Yeah. So, I don't know how eager I am to meet him yet, but I'm thinking about it. It probably will happen, but it just has to happen at the right time. And my life right now is not the right time. So, I'm putting that one off. But he's younger than I am, so I've got a little bit more time for that. But he's got no one else in his life, and he's living kind of alone out in the middle of a town somewhere in Manitoba. So I kind of do want to reach out to him, let him know that there's other people in the universe that might take an interest in his life, and want to get to know him better. So we'll see if that works out. But and I can't say my own temper is exactly sterling either. It's got me into plenty of trouble. The difference is between him and I is that I've learned to control mine. He apparently hasn't. So he has issues, but he's not a stupid guy. Different father, of course, but my own father is an unknown because he just disappeared. Apparently it was a one-night stand situation back in the early 1970s. That was something that's, of course, happened, and when it did, it was expected the woman would look after it. Except this particular woman was Catholic, so Catholics didn't abort back in those days at all. I don't know how I feel about that. I wouldn't have known life if she had aborted, but I'm kind of glad, I guess, I got a chance to be alive, all things considered. It's been interesting.
Definitely. I've always believed we just repeat the process, though. I feel like you just blink out and then blink on. I feel like we've lived multiple lifetimes. You don't remember.
Well, I've never felt that I've lived multiple lifetimes. I've felt that there have been other lives that I've become aware of somehow. Sort of.
Man, I have deja vu on shit that I've never experienced before, but I have experienced it. It's so weird.
Have you dreamt about it, anything? And then seen it?
Offhand.
Because I have vivid recollections of dreaming about something and then seeing it subsequently in real life. To the point where I can actually predict how events are going to unfold, and that's exactly how they unfold. And I've done this like multiple times, both in childhood and my adult life. So there's something about time that we don't understand, that if you set your mind to the right thing, you can probably tell how things are going to end up. That being said, the future is not cast in stone, I don't believe. And I know you can change. I believe it can be changed, but it just takes effort. It just takes effort to do it, and if you just let it run its course, well, it'll happen exactly as you've foreseen. But then again, if you change history, the problem is if I predict something and then history ends up being changed, everyone's going to say, well, it didn't happen, so you don't see the future at all. Well, no, that's not to say I didn't see it. It's just that we changed how the outcome is going to happen. It's the nature of time, you fool. Of course it's different. We changed it. But You'll be pleased to know I happen to have some insight into the presidential election in the United States. Turns out Biden's going to be your next president.
Really hope not.
That would be fucking priceless.
And when it happens, I'll come back and you can laugh or listen to me say I told you so.
So what's the next Powerball numbers? I need those.
I can't predict every future. I don't see the future like that. I just see glimpses of things. Most of it's mundane. Occasionally there's one bit of information that comes off, usually indirectly somehow, in my dreams. And what I've seen is an assassination attempt on Biden. But he's surrounded by Secret Service, and I think it's likely he survives. But that's all I can say. I don't know anything else.
I'll say to the FBI agent listening in on this conversation, I don't know shit.
Well, the FBI agent should really do something about it. I'll say that. I'm not going to announce this too heavily because if my inkling.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, no.
Looking at you, bro.
Yeah, well, but I'll be here, and that'll happen wherever that happens, and I won't be in the United States, so that's likely where it'll occur if it does.
I guess you've never seen the law-abiding citizens.
They can come forward and ask all the questions they want. I have no problem with that. I'm still a Canadian citizen, ultimately. I've also, by the way, mentioned this to someone I know in, well, the Canadian government. So, who does believe in such things, and I'm sure that if they take it at all seriously, it will be looked into. But I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen. I have to tell you, I really do hope that I'm wrong on this score. Not because I don't want Biden to win the election. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But it's kind of irrelevant. It's sort of just the intensity of the event, and it seemed to me like he was being protected by people that were, by an entourage that would protect the president, not just a senator or, whoever, some higher ranking American politician. They get protection as well, but this was sort of presidential, it looked like to me. So I'm thinking it has something to do with Biden being president. By the way, there have been 3 apparent attempts on Trump's life already I didn't even know about.
Yeah, but they weren't like real assassins. They were just some fucking crazies coming out of the...
True. I suppose that's routine. I have no idea how often, no one wants to kill the Prime Minister of Canada. You know why?
You don't realize everybody's too goddamn stoned to even think about it.
No, there's really, if you kill the Prime Minister, all that ends up happening is the Deputy Prime Minister steps in. You don't affect the government function at all. He's just someone who, he does lead the government, but it wouldn't deter the Canadian government from taking any particular action, and like I said, the Deputy Prime Minister would immediately step in. It's sort of automatic.
About to get dragged into a war.
Well, we've been dragged into wars before.
I mean, yeah, every war that we've been in, and y'all are about to get dragged into another one.
Well, it looks as if, for the moment, that's in the hands of the British. They've got...
fucking U.S. is all... Michael Bolton is all over that.
Oh, I know he is.
He's got to invade Iran boners so hard that you could...
He's had, you know what though? He's had that boner for years. Years and years.
And he's right now at the grass, and Iran's fucking up. I mean, they're fucking up so hard. They just get landed so much shit for us to invade now. I'm just like, Iran, you really want to keep your country? You might want to stop what you're doing.
When you look at the terrain of Iran, like if you pull up a topographical map and figure out what it would take to actually get to Tehran over land from the south coast of Iran, do you have any idea what you're asking for? You have to travel from one mountain range to the next, 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 and you're still only halfway there. You know, it's just fucked up, and there's no way around it. None. It is like a fort. It is like a fucking country that is built into a fortress of mountains, and you're never getting in. It would be like attacking Switzerland like times 200. It is just absolutely impassable for a lot of the stuff that the United States can ordinarily rely on to throw at this country. Short of very...
They can deploy that military anywhere in the fucking world.
I know they can, but it's...
Troops don't matter, land, sea, mountains...
Troops always do matter. You have to occupy the target area, ultimately, to take control of it. So you're going to have to put boots on the ground at minimum in the capital at some point.
Yeah, that's all we would do. We would just hit all their major cities. We'd carpet bomb all their major cities like we did in the Iraq War, and then come in and set up some fucking proxy government, and then that'd be it. And all their leaders would be the next figureheads on those, those goddamn...
Yeah, but Iraq didn't turn out to be a proxy government.
Iraq's still a shithole. I mean, that whole side of the fucking world's a shithole, in my opinion.
Well, it got split up into little principalities, and old rivalries started resurging.
I'm just talking about its geography and its geological stuff. Like, it's all nothing but desert.
I mean, the place has endless fighters, for crying out loud.
I'm not a big fan of the desert.
Why?
No wonder people are constantly killing each other and doing all them terrible shit. They live out in
Right, the heat will make you pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. They're pissed off. Really mad. It's fucking hot all the time. I'd be mad too.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looks like Iran's going to be regardless of how you approach it, it's still going to be a quagmire. Like you can certainly launch planes, you can carpet bomb, and so on and so forth. That's all true, but and the bombs have gotten way more accurate than they were in Vietnam. So you can miss civilian targets. You can to a large extent, not completely, but to a large degree you can. And you can have your bombs boring through mountains into tunnels and whatnot. What? And on and on it goes. Plus, there's all kinds of quote unquote experimental weaponry that gets trotted out in these things. But
that's the only reason we do it. But
what's that?
That's the only reason we do it.
Well, you need to keep your army battlefield ready, right? If you leave it at peace too long, then it forgets how to fight.
The Iraq War was nothing but a giant testing ground for goddamn drone warfare. Pretty much got that down. Iran's going to be a testing bed for either the railgun or some other technology, or the exosuit. One of the two. Mark my fucking word.
Shit, we've already got antimatter. What do you mean?
Well, I don't think you can rely on plasma bombs falling from orbit just yet, but and the railgun's an interesting one. I don't know if it's ready for mass deployment. You've got a few prototypes that are very promising and certainly will cause some damage.
It's all fun and games until we pay Iceland to fucking send a goddamn fucking...
Iceland?
Yeah. You know, Iceland controls the weather.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
Pay fucking Iceland to go send the superstorms across the seas.
My only problem is that we still have a timetable to expand into the solar system, right? And that timetable gets impacted the less money that the American government has to spend on exploration and new development of resources in the asteroid belt and elsewhere in the solar system. So my hope is that the military can put off fighting any major wars for the time being, tackle what needs to be tackled, keep the army in relatively good shape with simulations and VR and whatever else needs to be done. And
they just need to figure out how to make hydrogen their main fuel source and how to fucking constantly refuel with it while they're out in
well,
space.
the Ford class aircraft carrier is designed to actually accept new types of nuclear reactors. The first ship that has been produced where you can swap that kind of technology in and out. So in theory, you could pull out the fission reactors and you could install fusion if it was small enough to do. Theoretically.
Yeah, because hydrogen's everywhere. Because if we could turn hydrogen into a fuel source that we can actually use and sustain properly, which is part of the problem, is they can't.
Well, I thought that submarines and nuclear aircraft carriers already did that anyway.
Well, I'm talking about for more of a. They do to an extent, but it's not as good as what they could be if they could figure out how to fix a couple problems.
Yeah, I'm not up on the design. I did try looking up at one point the design schematics for the reactors of the Ford class carriers. They're classified still, so.
I did hear that there was some work on some new type of reactors that don't involve anything like nuclear, which was kind of strange. I'd have to look back into it and ask the guy what he was.
Well, they discovered gravity waves. Gravity waves are thought to be a possible conduit for energy at minimum, and possibly a source of energy. So if you can you for an example, can you imagine having devices that have power, but no wires coming out of them, not even for power? So
I mean, there's been talk about that even through. Like hell, Tesla even had something designed for that back in the day.
Right. So you have broadcast. We're talking about broadcast power, and if you can get that going, then yeah, you can do whatever the hell. I mean, you could broadcast anything you can off land, which is the major power generator.
If you go back to if you're going to broadcast power theory, if you look back even on some of the theories, if you look at the ancient astronaut theories, some of the creepy shit they got going.
Yeah.
One of them is about broadcast power theory, and it's across the world.
Well, if you want to speak of kooky theories, the UFOs that apparently have been captured by the United States, not many of them, granted, but a couple, apparently use gravity waves as their power conduit technology. They don't have wires on them because they use gravity waves to form the basis of energy networking between different devices aboard the spacecraft. So their computers, the flight avionics, everything that drives a flying saucer basically is just handled through gravitic wiring, or the equivalent of gravitic wiring. It's probably waveform, but anyway.
Way more efficient than actual wiring, so.
Yeah. But you can think of it as a wire, effectively, because it's still providing power that way, even if it's invisible.
Right. It's a more advanced version of, hey, you see this fancy pad on the back of my phone? Yeah, watch this. It sets it on the pad.
Yeah.
It charges.
I mean, it's possible, certainly. More advanced species could pull this off, because obviously we've just recently discovered it. They would have had it for years already. They can make it to this star system. So, although there's another kooky theory that suggests we're not that far off from being able to actually propel spacecraft faster than light if we can get the Alcubierre drive working. Although it would look a lot like Elite's jump drive. So, so you could imagine slowly accelerating and then going to, yeah. Well, you would never reach hyperspace. You'd still have to take months to get to the nearest star and years to go.
But you'd be going fast.
But you'd be going really fast, yeah. Because in your little zone of entropy that you've created, you would just simply, speed up the speed of light, and then you can go faster without breaking the rules of physics.
Right, because you're just bending space around you, pretty much.
Pretty much. You're using space to pull you ahead is the main thrust of it, but you get the advantage. You get the advantage of also, in using entropy to move yourself through space, you also get the advantage of changing light speed, so added bonus. But you still need thrusters with that technology, and it's not necessarily the best way to go. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy that's gotten through the first test drive on that one.
Yeah, I think we're wed to thrusters for a while. I mean, they don't necessarily have to burn petroleum products, but they're going to have to burn something, you know. And there's the ion drive, which they can't. Unfortunately, it too doesn't really do much except gradually propel you through space. Like, it does go to insanely fast speeds after a while, but it's got to build up. It's got to build up to get there, and the only other type of thruster that shows promise for getting you there faster, in my view, is a fusion thruster, which requires a fusion reactor converted to, you know, thrust product out the back of the ship, and then it, you know, basically is inexhaustible and just keeps going. It's the technology that the impulse drives are made of out of in Star Trek. So, I don't know. I hope I get to see some of this shit. I'd like to live into the 22nd century to see if any of this crap actually flies.
That'd be great.
But I'll be in the year 2100 AD. I'll be turning, 130. I'll start off the year as 129, and I'll turn 130 later that year.
It's okay. By then, all of us will have artificial organs, and we'll be able to live for like 200 to 300 years.
That would become extremely tedious, and you might want to actually end your life before that actually happens, because you start seeing patterns. The older you get, you don't know this yet, but the older you get, you start noticing things. Like, you start seeing the same things happen over and over again politically, in society, with human beings.
Over and over again.
Yeah, it just keeps going, and eventually it's like nothing surprises you anymore. And you know, they talk about the old being jaded and cynical. They're not jaded and cynical. They're just bored. Like, there's no more. There's no novelty to it anymore, right? Like, it's all gone. You can only have novelty happen once. And when you're younger, that happens very frequently. When you're older, it happens less frequently. And when you're extremely old, it almost never happens. So, what's supposed to keep you around after, like, 300 years? Like, yes, you can be kept alive. Okay. Now what? You've seen it all before. You've done everything. You've been everything.
The new frontier is no longer space. It is VR.
Yeah, well, the new frontier is just being alive for 300 years and seeing it all.
Yeah,
like.
And you want to shock the shit out of an old person? We get VR to the point of Ready Player One.
Yeah, okay.
And you will shock the shit out of people.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, those kinds of innovations, which are truly shocking, you know, like the 7 of 9 moment I had this weekend, noticing her on the Picard episode. I mean, that kind of thing starts happening less and less frequently, and it does happen. It will always happen. You know, even if you're 1,000 years old, I'm sure it would still happen, but it would become a much rarer thing. And the question is it sustainable enough to keep you wanting to continue with your life? At some point, I think people are just going to get tired of it and let's go, okay, well, I pick this point in time to die and end my existence because I don't want to exist anymore. This is boring. I want to find out what's beyond.
And you have the other people that go, hey, you said you were working on transferring our minds into robots? You said you were doing that? Is that a thing?
Well, even if that were to happen, let's assume for a second that actually does happen, you're still not really immortal because something eventually is going to kill you. You will not live for all eternity. There's no such thing. It's a futile, fleeting idea.
No, because the only way to do that is to be like a fourth dimensional being.
Right, or like pure energy or something. Like you're just not even then. But one EMP later, you're gone anyway. But
one flare up of the sun.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oop, Carrington event, surprise! Yeah, you don't have, eventually it's pointless to even dream about immortality because you cannot actually be immortal. You can make yourself have no fixed predetermined date on the end of your life if you so choose, but if you do that, you're guaranteeing yourself a violent death, and one in which you have absolutely no say or control over, and it's going to happen. That is also a certainty. So, at some point, you have to make a decision. That's my point. And maybe it's better to not make a decision, just have a predetermined fixed lifespan. Some people will want that.
But I want to be a vampire so I can control the immortal.
Even vampires aren't immortal.
Nope. Oh, what's that? Opens curtain. Hey, look, it's a good sun morning.
Yeah.
What?
The sun! Yeah.
That's not how it works. Haven't you seen Twilight?
Oh, and have you met the Pope?
Oh, God.
God turns into a cloud of dust. Unless he was a Nazi or molesting small children in his earlier life, but that never happens, of course. All right, well, it's bedtime. My cat is telling me it's bedtime anyway. My cat puts me to bed every night.
Cat says time to go night night.
Well, 'cause she'll just sit there and like stare at me until I'm in my bed. Oh, and I have to get up early tomorrow anyway to, I don't know, work or something. I'd like to do a demo next week on my product, and it's not nearly ready, so. Oh, and also tomorrow morning I have to go back to an old job to present a virtually incomplete project that I didn't have enough time allocated for. That's a whole other story. Okay, anyway, I'll let you guys go. Take care, have a good night. Alright everyone, I guess we're going to have to end it here, because I had a lengthy conversation I did not mean to have, once again. Thank you again for watching, and if you were listening to the theological discussions, wonderful. But this is really about Elite, so we'll try to keep it in that theme going forward next time here on Elite Dangerous with Commander Trium. Please visit our Twitter site at twitter.com/commander_trium, CM as in Mike, DR_TRIUM as in Mike. That'll link you to our YouTube site where we have a full inventory of video flight log data, which you can also subscribe to and be told about when new video content becomes available, as it is posted on a delayed stream. Thanks once again for your time, contribution, viewership. This is Commander Trium signing off for the night. Have yourselves a good night, good week, good day, good morning, whatever, and fly safe, Commanders.